Tēnā koutou katoa, everyone, and welcome back to Mucky Hope Productions. I'm your host, Mucky Hope, and boy, oh boy, do we have a rag team group of people here to talk about a very exciting opportunity. You know, I feel like the first Australia vs. the World season did really well, but what about Australia vs. the World 2, the sequel? Often sequels aren't, anywhere near as good as the originals, but maybe we can cook up something really juicy so then it will be as good as the original. But let's start off with the Australian representative, all the way from Australia. Michelle, more like Winchell. It's my personal favorite Australian of all time. Everyone, please welcome the amazing Michelle. How are you?
Hello. I sat down to the podcast and I'm like, what am I podcasting about? That's right. Survivor, even though it's not on. And I do Amazing Race during the week. And then today I was told we're doing the podcast for Hunted, which I do with two English guys. And we're starting that probably in 3 weeks. And I'm like, I couldn't remember what I was sitting down to talk about.
Well, that means that we're getting the raw Michelle. You know, there's no pre-planning. There's no, let me pretend to be this way. We're getting the genuine you with your real hot takes, Michelle.
I've got my list of Australia, South Africa, US, UK. I don't have anybody else because I didn't have time in my last week of work because, reports and things like that I had to do. So I've just got the basics and hopefully I've picked good teams.
Well, I'm pretty disappointed that you chose work over a non-paid Survivor podcast. I'm pretty gutted, Michelle. But bring her home all the way from South Africa. You know, South Africa didn't do too well in the original season, but who knows? Maybe some of the players we pick up would do even better. Everyone, please welcome the amazing Richard. How are you, bro?
Hey, hello everyone. I hope that for the second Australia versus World Tribe, they pick a South African I truly like and I'm going to root for. So hopefully they do better.
Yeah, hopefully, brother. But bring it home. It's Survivor twists. You know, we had him on to talk about Cassandra. We chatted a little bit about Tommy as well. And I just love everything this guy does, from his AI videos he makes with the interviews he posts. Everyone, please welcome Survivor twists. How are you, bro?
Hey, thank you for having me again. The best little group I could find. I'm excited to build a season with you people. Wonder how that's going to go.
Yeah, and it's fun because
I've watched a lot, just like Michelle. I prepared everything. Yeah, I have also from some seasons of Survivor Quebec I want to talk about, and Koh-Lanta, the French one, also just a little bit for that, and Germany. Yeah.
I do have a specific player from Survivor Koh-Lanta, and I think we all know exactly which player we're talking about. That I think would be great on this cast, but this is almost like Australia versus the World on its own. We've got Michelle, the only Australian. Then we got the true bro Kiwi. We've got the South African Richard. And whereabouts are you based again, Shupi? Like in Germany, right?
Yeah, I was born in French Canada, but I'm in Germany now, so it's really all over the damn place.
Exactly, yeah. So we really do have the world perspective for this cast. So I hope everyone can sit back, relax, and enjoy. And let's dive deep into the Australian tribe. Right, you know, Australia is just about, well, no, it is all done with this 12th season. It's already filmed, I believe. I think everyone's come back home already.
Yes.
Michelle, I'll let you start us off. Let's not go too deep into any of the players, but who is a name that comes to your mind first when you're like, I want this person to represent Australia?
Oh, okay. So you don't want all 7, you just want one. Gosh.
Yeah, we'll go around and spitball a bunch of different names, but let's start off with
Well,
one.
look, representing Australia, I think more for the people in the world, more who would have seen his season would be Ferris. Obviously, I also think Christy represents Australian Survivor, but not a lot of internationals may have seen Christy as opposed to Ferris. So I'll put Ferris at the top then.
Yeah, now Ferris I feel like is a great pick. I feel like he's someone that all of us would have wanted to see on the first one with this dynamic with Kirby as well. What's your guys' thoughts on Ferris, like as a player and as a whole?
Yeah, I think Ferris is one of the most well-rounded Survivor Australian players, where you can see him have social game with different players like Raymond, Kirby, the list goes on. And he's funny, gives good confessionals, he shows he can be strategic, he wins challenges, so he's really the full package.
Yeah, GP, something that I find very interesting about Ferris as a player is that he was always seen as like a huge player, mastermind. You can't really trust him. But he never actually turned on anyone. I feel like everyone was always like constantly turning on him more than he was actually turning on anyone else.
Yes, I agree. I mean, when I think back on Ferris, he is the first I thought of from Australia from all these seasons. By the way, it's a good pick, Michelle, because it was just so dominant. But I just think of him as those huge clutch points in the story where he finally beats Kirby, and also the huge fake story with Raymond when Raymond had to pretend to be depressed and almost quit, and everyone votes for Raymond.
Yeah.
Those kind of things make me want to see Ferris back because he can act, he can finesse anyone, right? And that win was just incredible against Caroline, who I would also bring back. She's like the cast of that season. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
those two I thought of right away. It's kind of recent as well.
Yeah. How about you, Richard? Apart from Ferris, who's another Australian Survivor player sort of on your list that you would love to see come back to represent Australia?
Yeah, I think because there was one winner in the previous season, I think Pia would be a good one to see back because we've been waiting to see her come back. Is she gonna come back? Unlikely. Should she? Most definitely. So yeah, we're gonna have to see how she does because she played a brilliant strategic game. So it would be nice to see how she plays when everyone knows she's a threat.
Yeah, Michelle, it's an interesting thing about Pia because when I look back on her game, I only remember her move to take out David at the final 10. Like that was her one main move. But maybe it's a similar thing with Ferris where a lot of her moves were actually more social kind of moves, more so than like a big strategic move. Do you like this pick by Richard on potentially having a Pia on the cast?
Yes, I didn't put Pia down because I don't think she would accept. But
Yeah.
I like that. I liked her game. It was under the radar. And I don't need big showy moves all the time. I like them, but I don't need them for me to pick somebody. Yeah, I like Pia as a player.
Why
But
wouldn't
you,
she accept? Sorry. Why wouldn't she accept,
Because I
Michelle?
think she's been there, done that. I think because she's won, she might not go back again. She loved the game and she was a big fan, but
Super fan.
I really don't feel like she would play again.
something as well is that I kind of feel like this ties into Samantha, who may come up on this list, who knows, but both of them got slammed brutally by the casual audience, right? Obviously for Pia voting out Luke, Samantha for a blindside on Jesse. And like, why would you want to experience that again? You get what I mean? Like, obviously, those were like game correct moves and stuff. And if you're just going to be absolutely shut on for making a good move, then, like, Pia's already won. What more does she really have to prove, right? So, yeah.
I would want her to prove herself again because to me that was the social game I've ever seen in Australia. Like I tell people about her when I tell them to watch because it's so brilliant and the way she fakes laughs at people and cries and just she shows how to manipulate socially, which other people love to just charm the audience and you don't know who they really are. She says, "Look, I'm fake here," and it was so interesting to watch behind her curtain. So I would love to see it again. I had her
Yeah.
on my list. Pia, absolutely.
Who's another player, GP, that you would love to see come in and represent Australia?
I have quite a lot. Okay.
I think we all have a lot.
But just if we go very recent, I like the story of Kalen. He got beaten by Miles in the end in Brains versus Braun 2. I'm just going maybe back in history in reverse order, but Kalen was the last memorable ultra performance on Survivor. He won 7 immunity challenges.
Yeah, impressive.
I was thinking of that as well. Right? 7 immunity challenges. I looked at, let's say, Survivor Thailand in the US, there were only 6 challenges. So it's a record we have to look at from some perspective. Like they can't even beat it on that season. But I mean, he was so complete as a player, emotional and physical. Not the best edit, but I would love to see if we could bring it again. He was so interesting. Kalen, are you guys interested or?
Yeah.
I'd say it's a very interesting pick because I feel like a lot of people like would choose like the big over the top characters of the show, like your Miles, your Ferris, like your So same thing with the first season where you've got your George, Shawnee, Luke's, and David's, the four main characters of Australian Survivor, all on the same tribe. I feel like with Kaylin, very similar to like Appear, and like at first we talked about, Kaylin was almost like the whisperer between like Miles and AJ. You know, Kaylin was never the one in the front, but he was always the one winning the immunities, sort of helping bringing the numbers together. So I feel like he'd be a very interesting player, especially, you know, he's got the world title of most individual immunity wins in one season, right? So
exactly,
yeah.
which goes so well for the tagline, the intro. Hey, look, it's me.
Yeah.
Like, who else do you want? Right?
Yeah. How about you, Michelle? What's your thoughts on Kaylin potentially coming back?
Well, anyone who can win a lot of immunity challenges is fun, because they just put the cat amongst the pigeons sort of thing. I didn't have a lot of more recent people in my tribe. I had some oldies. So, yeah, I didn't even think of Kalen, but definitely he's a good player.
Yeah. One player who I would personally love to see come back and represent, and I feel like I've been screaming this person's name for so long, is Sean.
Oh.
Sean, the two-time
Yes.
runner-up, you know. I will admit, her game in All-Stars wasn't really that great. I feel like she was trying to play the middle, but she was just pissing off the minority. And like, even though she wasn't at the bottom of the majority, like players like your Davids, like your Tarzans, always was second-guessing Sean. And I kind of feel like there's a bit of a bad spot in the majority. But Sean has yet to be voted out of the game, and she's yet to win the game. Can you imagine if she makes it to the end a third time? How great would that be, you know?
A lot of people mentioned her in their suggestions of who to put in season 2 if there was one.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Sean, GP?
Sean, the way she loses twice, she takes it so to heart. Like, I remember what I felt watching Sean lose twice, especially the second time, and you're kind of with her and you're like, damn it, Sean, what happened again? So yes, it's a great story to bring back on this kind of crazy season against the world. I think people would kind of leave her alone and it would happen again. She makes it super far again because it's Sean. Something about her, she's very good socially, I think. Just don't get fooled by people because you like them. Right? The Benji thing, using your idol wrong. So that's what she needs redemption about. I had her. So far, you guys are hitting my mark. I like it.
Oh, how exciting. Well, let's speed this up a little bit because I know we've all got a lot of Australian Survivor players. Michelle, I want you to name two Australian Survivor players on your list.
I'm going to go female. I'm going to go Brooke and Phoebe.
Great picks. Great picks. I've got no complaints against them whatsoever. The only knock I would have is if Phoebe's like a pre-merged twice, but I feel like the legacy she has, you know, especially with her game in season 1, sort of like overrides the fact that she was pre-merged twice. So yeah, I've got no complaints. How about you guys? Do you guys both like the Phoebe and Brooke picks?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, love Brooke. She's amazing.
I wasn't so keen. I would pass on that one so far.
Tell me why.
Yeah.
Fight.
She's feisty on screen.
Yeah.
For me, I don't connect with her aura.
Energy, yeah. Okay.
I guess for me, I have more females though.
And I guess, you know, we all know Brooke is on this next season of Survivor anyways. I actually think out of the 4, she's going to go the furthest, I think.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think I feel like she's the type of player who's always destined to at least make merge. You know, I can never see a scenario where you'd vote Brooke out pre-merge, unless if it's like a tribe swap and it's like, you know, like 3-1. It's like, well, you know, it's us 3 against Brooke. But yeah, how about you, Richard? Who's 2 Australian Survivor players on your list that you would love to see come back and play?
I think I'll also go with Michelle's strategy of 2 women. Let me think. Haley and Flick. I think those 2 are good in their seasons. Yeah,
which Flick?
The second one.
Oh, the second one. Oh, okay. Because I was on board with the first one, but the second one, I don't know. All right, explain your reasoning. Why the second Flick over the first Flick?
I mean, mean, Flick's Flick. I mean, she was hot, number one. She played a good social game. But I
Yeah.
think I really liked the challenges she had because she was more of an emotional person and having to navigate the game of like lying to people. I think she navigated that aspect of the game well. And I think she lasted long enough. I think she got taken out Final Four. So she shows that even though she's at the bottom, she can still make it fun in the game. And I think personally, that's what I love seeing in a player, someone who can survive, endure.
Yeah. Well, how about you, GP? Because I know you said you got a lot of females on your list. Did they make your list?
I gotta ask you guys: can Nina Twine, Sandra's daughter, can she even play on this kind of season? Because she's from both the world and
Yes.
Australia. Because I like her.
Yeah.
How do we
I,
classify her?
I
I don't
can
know.
again. I would classify her as Australian
Same.
because she's played Australian Survivor. Like,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
she's
yeah.
like technically world, but you know,
She is.
she's
Yeah.
played
It's
the
funny
Aussie
if she's
twice,
on,
you know.
actually. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I had Liz Parnoff, who
Oh
won
yeah.
Okay.
Heroes versus Villains because it was a come from behind win. But when you really pay attention, Liz was complete fire, and a woman like that is a great role model for young women. What can I say? And she played villainously also.
Yeah.
That's the kind of woman we need on Australia. Not any pushovers.
Well, speaking of
She would
playing
not.
villainously, Richard, I know you brought up Haley, and Haley was on my list as well. Like, I know that her win, Michelle's just dropping everything.
Sorry.
Like, I feel like Haley, she's definitely got a very controversial win. You know, I feel like it's if you've been a fan of Australian Survivor from the start, you accept non-eliminations a bit more. Whereas if you're a newer fan, that you wouldn't really accept it. I've constant debates with friends as well. Is Haley a good winner? Because technically she got voted out. But it's like, yeah, but when she came back, her game changed entirely, which helps set her up to win, right? And to me, that makes a good Survivor player and a good winner overall. So, yeah, I think Haley's a great pick as well. Liz, I'm a little bit more indifferent about. I think she's definitely a good challenge competitor as well, definitely good personality. But I think that there are other women who we haven't really spoken about yet either that I kind of would rather see over Liz personally. But how about you, Michelle? What's your thoughts on, Flick number 2, Haley, Liz, like Nina?
Okay.
What's your thoughts on everyone?
I don't go with Haley. I have something against her coming back. I don't know why. I just do. I was trying to figure out today what I've got against Haley. I've got something against her. Liz, yeah. Flick, I'd go for number 1, Flick, because I loved her games. But the other woman I had down there was Christy. I think it'd be interesting to see her play again now that she's older. It's 10 years, I think. I think it'd be interesting to see how she plays. That was my roundup of the women. I didn't really think of anybody else who could do season 2 justice.
I've got one player in mind. It's Samantha from season 2 in Blood vs. Water. Like we saw in season 2, right?
Oh,
Played a terrible game. You get what I mean? Like she was pretty much unanimously voted out except for by Mark, huge landslide. She comes back in Blood vs. Water, and I was like, she's not going to do that well. And for me, she was a player of the season, with one of the biggest moves, I think, in Australian Survivor history, getting Jesse to give her his idol and then votes him out that night. And I think she just does such a great job. Like, when you think about it, right, what it took to get Samantha voted out was for Geordie, Shay, Michelle, and KJ all to be voted out, just have 3 of them come back in anyways, for KJ to get an advantage where you can send 3 people out of a tribal council, where they kind of set Samantha up to be a little bit sus. And after all that, that's what it takes for Samantha to get voted out. Like twist after twist, it's just, I think Samantha's a really good player, and I think third time could really show that.
Yeah, I think so too, but I don't think she would be asked because she was not popular with the general fan base at all.
No, she wasn't.
Okay, why? Bring me up, because I don't know about that. Why? I loved her.
Yeah, they didn't like her as a person, how she played. They really didn't like her. She got a lot of hate in my group.
So like Haley, they're kind of the same type to me. highly
Haley not too
intelligent,
bad.
fit
Haley had pluses. But people half loved, half didn't like Haley. It was half and half. Whereas with Samantha, it was more like 70-30. There was I don't know why.
Yeah, I think it popped up mostly because I think people didn't like the fact that she lied unnecessarily about stuff and how manipulative she was. But I mean, it's a game. If a dude did that, people would be like, "Oh my god, that person's such an amazing strategic player."
Yeah,
But when
exactly.
a woman takes a younger player's idol and then votes them out, they're like, "Oh, she's manipulating," but it's a game.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
it's the same thing with David taking Phoebe's idol, you know?
You see,
Like
everyone
I
loves
think
that.
that's great. Yeah, I think that's great. I
Yeah.
think what Samantha did was great as well. But
It's
it's actually really
amazing.
funny because my grandparents are watching Australia vs. the World because it's slowly airing in New Zealand. And it's an
Yes.
episode where Kirby just got blindsided. And my nana called me. She's like, "Oh, Parvati, that bloody witch! What a horrible
I
person!"
remember,
And I
yeah.
was like, "She didn't even orchestrate the vote. It was like Serena in the international." She's like, "Yeah, but she could have played an idol on Kirby." And it's like, and done what? Like throw away a whole alliance of it. And she's just so like, "Oh, I don't like Parvati, but I really like David." It's like they're the same.
Come
They're
on,
the
Yeah.
same. Yeah. Oh, I love
conservative.
my nana. We have the funniest arguments. She hates George, and I got a Mother's Day cameo from George. She was not happy with me at all. But let's talk about some of the men. I feel like we've talked a lot about the women, but for me, I think Simon would be a great pick. I think with Simon, if you were to look at his game,
Wait,
alone,
which Simon? Which one?
Oh,
Speedo
Simon
Simon.
Me. There's only one real Simon. The other one, we're gonna really, remember. But it was Simon. I feel like if you were to look at his game on paper, you could be like, wow, what like a terrible player, always on the bottom and stuff, was never in the loop on anything. But as a character, I think the Cookie Idol segment, the greatest things to ever come out of Survivor. I think it's in like the top 5, right? I think just as constant underdog, trying to make things work out, but then they always keep on blowing up in his face, like how we flipped to join Sean, Sam, and Nina to blindside George. 75% of them were immune, and they still got it wrong. I love Simon. I think it's great. I think it's excellent TV. And yes, he may not have the same strategic capabilities as like a David, a George, and a Luke even as well. I think just who he is as a person and kind of like his story and his energy, his aura and whatnot, I think is personally worthy of being up there on the Australian tribe. What's your thoughts on that, GP?
Well, we're allowed to talk about the redemption cast. You mentioned Mark.
Yeah, we can like briefly talk about it. If you know spoilers, obviously don't share any spoilers.
I
but
don't.
Yeah, but
Simon on that maybe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Simon,
no. I think we all know who's on the cast. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what a third run will do for him. Yeah.
Simon, I would like to see a story where he has watched everything about him and then he knows how unaware he was a lot, how people made fun of him a lot. But then there's these other moments where Simon is crazy on entertainment. I mean, just the way he plays, the way he talks, his expressions, and also Cat Simon, like in the challenges, is crazy good, really. And I think a lot of world fans, the first clip they see of Australian Survivor might be Simon and George and Fraser's Tribal Council. Because that's what maybe pulls them in to watch Australian Survivor.
I forgot I had the hat.
Yeah,
I forgot I had that. Can I just say, Simon, right? Here's a personal story about Simon, right? So this is before we started like chatting. It was way back when Heroes vs. Villains was airing. He was releasing these hats, but the snuff company didn't ship to New Zealand, right? Yeah. And I reached out to him. I was like, "Hey, bro, I'd love to get a hat, but they don't ship to New Zealand. What can I do?" And he literally gave me his home address to ship it to his house address, and then he would send it straight to my apartment. So technically, I know where he lives.
Yeah.
No, but Simon's he's an absolute legend, and I think as well the way that he's stuck up for Sneaky Steve as well. Sorry, JP, I didn't know if you said any of this because I had my earphones out, but he always sticks up for the underdogs, and even in the game of Equilibrium we did, I always had the feeling that if there was one player to work with the podcasters, it was him. Alex was in trouble. It was between him and Miles. Simon literally used his idol to save Alex. Like, I think he's always willing to play a big game, but also to take a group with him. You know, which I think for a lot of players is all about me. But I think Simon, while he might be unaware of his group, Simon's all about me. While I think Simon is unaware of at times what his group is doing, such as with Danny and Chelsea, you know, turning on him, he was completely unaware of that. I think he's all about how can we make it far versus how can I make it far. So that's like the mateship loyalty that we need in Australia, you know?
Now that you mention it, Danny was also an interesting player. She was a bit villainous. Prison warden or something. She was fun.
Yes.
Yeah, she was a pretty good player. Yeah. How about you, Richard? Any other male players you'd like to bring up for Australian Survivor?
I mean, probably Dirty Harry or Zenhen, one of those two, because they're quite big.
Yeah, I feel
Who's
like
the second you
Henry's...
said? Sorry about
Zenhen. Is it Henry? Yeah.
Henry, yeah.
Yeah,
Henry. Yeah.
I feel like he's like a forgotten dinosaur because I feel like him and David were like the two strategic alpha males, but Henry's taken out early and David wins that season, right? But I've always wondered if they were on the same tribe, who would have won that strategic battle, David or Henry? But yeah, I don't see Henry.
Henry is a discounted golden god at this point.
Yeah,
pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. And how about you, GP? What's some other male players you would like that you got on your list?
Who was super funny to watch was also Emmett. He was on Reigns versus Braun.
Emmett was
Emmett
pretty
Q.
good.
Just his delivery of confessional, the crazy energy. I really connected also with recently Mark Warnock from Titans versus Rebels, the third placer. Something about him, I don't know. We're both balding, probably. No, I don't. He was high
you
energy.
Look more like Jam.
Right. And he broke the idle box, which confused the rules for everybody. Can we break production items?
Yeah.
I'm still wondering about it. So I don't know what's his story to come back. Like, he needs the redemption that he lost to Ferraz, I guess. That's all I can think of because he did everything right until then.
Well, I mean, think about this, right? Obviously, he's on the new season. If he makes it to the end, right? Let's say he's like third again or he's second. Is he one of the better recent Survivor players?
To me, yeah. To the public, probably not. Like, I think people want to even miles over Mark if you go there. Like, I think any winner should have a shot. Christy, I agree. Haley, you know, all the winners should be brought on. Like, I was surprised David was the only winner last time. They need to do it completely different. Australian winner. I mean.
Yeah. How about you, Michelle? Any like final male picks you'd like to see?
I need one of these probably in there. So these are the oldies, like AJ, Craig, or Matt. One of them I think would be good.
Which Matt? Matt Rogers?
No. Oh. No, the other Matt. But not Warnock.
Matt
not Tarrant, yeah.
Tarrant. Okay.
But oh my God, I didn't think of who did you just say? Matt Rogers.
Matt Rogers, the Godfather.
He'd be interesting, actually.
Yeah. I feel like he'd be a great pick to have on. Someone as well as Nick Idanza. I feel like he's be like the super fan. He would be like the Lisa of the tribe, you know? He'd be like, oh my God, here's all these amazing players, you know? But I think he's
he represents the podcast community, you know?
Yeah. When I look at Nick, I always think of Rob C. I don't know why.
Exactly.
Did they have similar games? I don't know, but I always put them together.
And their faces. Similar.
Yeah.
All right, now here comes the hard part, everyone. Obviously, we've spitballed a whole bunch of different names, but now we've got to make a 7-person tribe of Australians. From all the names we have mentioned, I'll start to go through some of them that have been said and just say yay or nay on the tribe. So
how many women, how many men? What are we doing?
How about this time, because there was 4 women and 3 men, we go 4 men, 3 female for this one.
Okay.
Does it sound all good, guys?
Yeah, happy days.
All right, so let's start off going backwards. Matt Rogers, yay or no?
Nay.
No?
Nay.
Yeah.
You, Michelle?
This is really hard. You're going to name like 20 people, and I've got to say yay or nay to number one.
Yeah.
They're going to leave your Facebook group.
This is not how teachers
Exactly.
operate. Teachers don't operate like this.
See, this is why I'm no ordinary teacher, Michelle. I'm a retail worker. We got to make snap decisions on the fly, you know? Yeah.
Okay, no.
No? All right, I guess it's no. How about Nick?
Yes.
Yes. Only because of the recent podcast. I want to... He knew everything about the last season. I don't know.
Yeah. No, he is a really great player. I feel like he started off the super fandom for Australian Survivor as well, because he did the podcast on RHAP before Shannon did. So, right, we've got Nick locked in for our first guy. How about AJ from Brains for Brawn? No?
I'm
How
a
about you,
yes,
Michelle?
but it's a no. That's fine.
Is it no? What's some other names? Matt Tarrant, season 1.
If we're having Nick, we don't need Matt.
If I have 2 more males, I'm very picky now.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me jump ahead then a wee bit. How about Simon?
Well, he's having another turn now, so no.
But he's a great character, you know?
But it's like Siri, like...
Another snuffed hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so say yes from you,
He deserves it
GP?
anytime, but it's I would say yes if I hadn't seen yesterday that he's already playing soon. So it's like, Siri, do we want it to play back-to-back? Sure, but other people could play. I'm like in between.
All right, I guess it's down to you, Richard. Is it yay or nay? No! A no on Simon! Wow, right, you guys are monsters. I'm telling you, if we ever get a deep dive with Simon, you guys are not invited. That's for...
Oh.
Nah, jokes. All right, how about Ferris?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So we've got Ferris, we've got Nick, Henry.
No, I think I'd rather have Harry than Henry.
But he's already playing too, no? I don't know.
Yeah, but isn't it a little bit hypocritical? Simon can't play again because it's too recent, but Harry can play again.
Is Harry playing?
Yeah. It's Harry, Brooke, Mark, and
all
Simon.
right, take Harry off. Okay.
Yeah. You're gonna see him soon.
Right, taking Harry off. How about
Who
Miles?
left?
Yes.
Have you seen the recent drama with Miles against Luke Toki?
Yeah.
That was
Is it gonna work? Miles, Nick, and Ferris.
Because we do have... Well, I'll bring up this other player because I've kind of forgotten some of the other male players. But Kalen. Miles and Kalen were like the last two I was going to bring up. Who would you pick?
I think Kalen would work better than Miles with those two.
Same.
Too many nerds, yeah.
Yeah, we don't like nerds. You know, who the hell bloody likes nerds these days? You know, podcasters. Why even listen to them? You know, what a bunch of nerds. All right, so are you taking Kalen on the tribe?
Yeah.
As a third male? I just realized we've only got 3 males. Who's going to be the who's going to be the fourth one? Craig? I don't. Maybe he was like a good pre-merge one-time player.
Never come back.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised.
Someone who just came to mind now is Benji.
Benji,
Yeah,
yes, I'd love to see
contender.
him on. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need
How do you guys
Benji and
feel
Sean
about
on the
Benji?
same tribe. How about that?
That would be a great combo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I assume you guys are locking in with Benji.
Okay.
It's really interesting to bring him on. Yeah, it excites me. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Benji as well suits that role of like the Janine and the Sarah for like the two one-time players that like, you know, we hadn't seen come back in ages, but like they were willing to come back for a season like this. So I feel like he kind of suits that role. Sorry, we've just lost Richard. He might come back. Now let's talk about the female side of things. Chrissy from Blood vs. Water.
No.
It's
No.
my shits and giggle pick myself. Did you connect with her, Michelle?
I did. Yeah, I thought she was hilarious and funny, and she's really lovely in real life. But I want big players. Look, she got
I feel
there.
like she would play it safe.
She learned as she went along.
Yeah, I feel like she would play pretty safe as well.
No strategy there. It is a social experience for her. She just is there for fun. Unless she's not this time. No one would expect it.
Yeah.
I had her. But I'm not interested. I did. Because it's so out of nowhere. That big story with George, not George, I mean, with the finalists of her season. And
yeah. Well,
I had
how
more
about Liz?
interest in. Oh, sorry, good. Liz?
Also, yeah, Liz, yeah.
I'm all
like
in
for me personally. So this is interesting because I'm leaning towards now, just because I feel like, especially with only 3 slots, I feel like we've named a whole bunch of females like already that I think would be like excellent.
Well, I think Brooke has to be in there.
Do you think Brooke has to? I feel like we've got other female players that we've named.
Phoebe
as well. Also, like Haley, Samantha, Sean, Christy.
I do like Richard's pick of a Flick. If we are talking about 2-time player Flick.
I feel like while I guess her story's kind of good, obviously like her mum, you know, passed away while she was on Brains vs. Brawn 1 and stuff. She's a huge like hero. When she should have been voted out, she somehow convinced Shawnee and Liz to like turn everything onto Sneaky Steve. So yeah, I think Flick could be a good pick, but I don't know if it's that exciting pick, if that sort of makes sense.
Right. She's like the perfect woman who is gonna play so well already. Like we kind of know how she's gonna play already. Flick, but it's just a staple of Australian Survivor for me because of everything that happened. I think of Australian Survivor, I think of her as a female a lot. So
really,
people will recognize. I don't know why. Yeah, and she is very, very confident woman. Like Richard said, she's hot. Come on, like she's got everything.
Yeah.
I had Valeria as well, just as a wild pick.
Okay.
Love some Valeria. The same reasons, same thing.
What about Sean? What do you guys think about Sean potentially being on the tribe?
Yeah.
Yeah? We need to see that.
Is that a lock for Sean? All right, so we've got Sean. How about the original Flick? Flick from season 1 on All Stars.
I like the original Flick.
I personally would love to see
But
Flick.
not everyone does.
Yeah. It was so weird because I feel like all preseason for All Stars, she was like everywhere. You know, it's like, oh, I'm coming in with this huge rivalry with Brooke. And then just got no screen time. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is quite sad. But I personally would vote to have her on the tribe. How about you guys?
I wouldn't. Oh, I'd put it halfway.
Halfway? All right, well, how about Samantha?
No.
No?
I've seen what I needed to see. For me, compared to Pia, who's a bit like her to me, I would rather see Pia again and Sam again.
Yeah, I'd like to see Pia.
All right, so I guess that's a no. On Samantha. Well, how about Christy, the original winner of Australian Survivor?
Yeah, I'd like to.
I think she'd be great.
Absolutely. What a story. People mention her randomly as their favorite. So rootable. It's time.
And I think to this day, the final challenge between her and Lee is probably the most like memorable final challenge Australian Survivor's ever had. Like I think there's truly David versus Goliath moment as well. And so
yeah.
All right. So
I bring back her and Lee together. How about that? Crazy.
Lee would be pretty cool to see a third time. I don't know if Australia versus the World is that third time. Imagine, I reckon it would have been so cool to see him on a redemption. You know,
Yeah.
so obviously he's runner-up, his mum, you know, he had to, you know, go back, you know, for his mum and stuff. I think it would have been great to have him on a redemption season. How about Pia?
That's
Yeah.
my 100% yes. She needs
100% yes?
Oh yeah.
I think it'd be
So-
interesting, Pia and Christy together.
All right, so just confirming the names. We've got Pia, Christy, and Sian for the woman. And then we have Ferris, we have Kaylin, we have Nick. Benji, that's right. It was Benji.
As a wild pick.
Okay.
Wild card.
Yeah, so that's our Australian tribe. Michelle,
Yeah.
I know you like a plan. This whole Australian tribe has been a bit of a what have you, just throwing names out, right? But
Yeah.
we're going to do the world tribe slightly different, okay? Because I've made a PowerPoint. Oh my gosh,
Right.
impressive, right? I've made a whole PowerPoint
Great.
of a whole bunch of different players from all over the world.
Can we
right?
start with the little known ones first? The little bits of countries that you've probably got one person from each country.
Well, in total, I've got 31 slides.
Of course you do. Jesus.
And
love it.
we'll go through all of them. Slideshow. So starting off with South Africa's Dino.
Hang on, why are you
From-
going South Africa? This is a major group.
Look, I've already got them ordered. Just trust the process.
Oh,
It's
God.
it's a lot of great stuff. But Dino,
Yes.
Survivor, New
Yes.
Zealand, Return of the Outcast, winner of Return of the Outcast, the only returning player season on South Africa's Survivor, which is pretty crazy. So here's someone who I've got for South Africa. Another player is Palesa, the idol
Yes.
Ice Queen.
heard
You know, like her idol on the podium is still one of the most iconic idols of all time. You know, it's created the Adam moment to Winners at War. With the moment with Parvati, which is like HLP, hold my torch. You know, I think Palesa's great. She was robbed that season, so I would have loved to see her make it further. Another player I have on is Chappies.
Yes.
Chappies
You've got
Chapman.
3 of my
the
6
biggest-
so far.
One of the biggest fan favorites I think the world has ever seen, to the point where he was
Yeah.
the first boot on Return of the Outcast and was still in the top 3 running of the fan favorite award, and he was only in it for 1 episode. It's nuts. So
That is my
so I was like,
favorite of South Africa ever. Chappies. Crazy entertainment. The solo kitchen he did away from the truck. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, Chappies is great. Fun fact: apparently, Chappies was almost on Australia vs the World. It was between him and Rob to represent South Africa, but I think
it's okay.
It probably would have ended the same way, almost as Rob. Like, I don't think he goes out the same way as Rob, but I can see Chappies potentially being a first boot on that tribe. Just seeing how that tribe came together. Obviously, the women came together very quickly. I don't think Lisa would get along with Chappies that well.
Lisa runs the chances in every scenario because she's in the American alliance to me. In the end.
Exactly. Yes, so that's Chappies. Another player I have is Marianne as well. I believe she's the final player I have for South Africa. 4 for 4, Michelle. Look at us go.
You got
when
2
are we
more
ever
left.
in this thing?
2 more chances.
I was like, I personally haven't seen Champions, so I can't comment on her game in Champions. But Return of the Outcast, she was one of the players of the season. You know, obviously, I love hearing about her story. You know, in terms of her skin, I think she's a great Survivor player. I think she's got a very heroic story, as well, very inspiring to a lot of people. And so I'd love to have Marianne on the cast. The next player I have is Chris from Survivor UK.
Wait a minute. Have you no more SA?
All right, we'll go back to SA. All right, who else have you got for SA, Michelle?
No, you don't have anyone else from SA?
No one else for SA.
Okay.
Who else for SA? We could go over it.
Werner?
Oh, true. Werner would have been a good player.
Yes, I had him.
Santini.
Yes, that was my 2, Michelle.
2 great picks. Werner and Santini. I'm actually going to write that down. Hold on.
And Steffi.
Oh, Steffi, yeah.
Steffi is a badass warrior Amazon. Okay, so pretty, so intelligent, so everything. She went the most to the Island of Secrets, But
yeah, no, both of them are really great picks. How about you, GB? Have you got any other South African picks that you'd like to chuck up?
I would say that's pretty much it. I had Jacques as well, just for fun, because I know he loves Survivor. He's internationally aware of Survivor, so but he could get beaten casting people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We covered them
like
all.
Jacques. Like I do quite like Jacques as well, but I think that in terms of characters, I feel like that there are other huge characters, like Chappie's Santin and stuff. They kind of overstep him, but I really hope that there's another South African All-Star season because I'd love to see Jacques come back and play. I think that'll be really awesome to see. Shall we move on to the UK?
Yeah, we can now.
Yeah, I'm glad I have your approval, Michelle. All right, so we've got Chris. Oh my God, shocker! Who would have thought I had Chris on the presentation? In my opinion,
I was in two minds. He was like, do I write his name down or not? I didn't know whether to.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, I loved Chris, underdog of the season. Like he brought so much fun to the season. I think his relationship with Matt was very interesting. His relationship with Lee as well, because Chris is obviously a super fan of the game. He's trying to do all the stuff, throw the challenge and lie. And Lee's just like, bro, what the hell? Let's just play with like honor, And then Lee will like start lying. It's great dynamic. I would have loved to see Chris come back and play again. How about you, GP? What's your thoughts on Chris?
Max entertainment from that guy, the sunshine in his face and his delivery. It was the season of how Chris lost to me. I forgot the ending. I just remember that Chris lost and I was very disappointed. So, you know what I mean? He should have been, instead of an American, cut one and put Chris on to really represent the world. Yes, to Chris. Absolutely.
Yes. All right, next up we've got Doug. Cheeky Doug, also from Survivor UK. When the season was originally announced of Australia versus the world, I had in my head, like, I don't know why this naturally generated when that first post got announced, I had seen an image of Doug, Chappies, and Tony in a wrestling match with like Luke and David. That was the first thing that came to my mind. It's all these physical, huge beasts all going to come together and play. So I was kind of shocked to see that he wasn't on the cast, even the rumored cast to go out as well. He wasn't even on that. So yeah, I'd like to see Doug come back and play again. What's your overall thoughts on Doug?
Yeah,
I remember his face, not what he did much. Sorry, Michelle. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Yeah, I don't know what he did either, really. Look, there's others that stood out to me more than Doug, but no, I don't know. I'd have to rewatch to find out what he did.
No, fair enough. We've also
He's
got
like Sean
Tanuke.
Hansen.
True. Yeah, no, very much like Sean. We've got Tanuke. For me, she was like the second best player on the season with Chris being number one. I feel like she was always in such a great spot, always controlling the game and stuff. His social game was very, very good. But then obviously Chris and Mac worked together to snipe her out of the game, which I think was obviously the blind side of the season. I think if that blind side doesn't happen, I think she wins that season hands down. What's your guys' thoughts on Tanuke?
Yeah, you know what? Just seeing the photo of her, I remember her better now that I can see her, what she wore, because I remember her. Yeah, she was a good player. I didn't have her down, but yeah, I'm open for her to play, yeah.
I'll be honest, I only had Chris for UK. The rest, I need to rewatch.
Yeah. And next player, we've got Pigleg.
Yes!
The amazing Pigleg. One of the biggest heroes on the cast. I love Pigleg. I remember on the Nullified take when we were doing like the rumored leaked cast that came out after the season was announced, Tom and I were like chanting for Pigleg to be on the season. But instead it was rumored that Matt was going to be, and we were both so disappointed. It's like, what, Matt over Pigleg and Chris? But yeah, I think Pigleg would be great, and I believe that's all I've got for UK. Anyone else that I've missed from UK?
He was
Yeah,
memorable.
right.
I like him. Very involved fan community, it seems. So he would bring it. Yeah.
Yeah. I just realized he's not the last one because we've actually got Matthew. Matt, this is a pick by Richard. He wanted me to put on because Richard wasn't able to make the World Tribe segment. But Matt, he won Survivor UK. For me personally, kind of a like he's all right. You go, man. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's great. I think he's just all right as a whole. I feel like he played a pretty standard game to win. Obviously, he did a great job because he actually won. But if I was on the jury, my vote would have gone towards Chris personally. So
yeah.
He was to me, he put the series in danger a little bit because he was a pretty tame, safe winner.
Yeah.
You know, you think of Survivor UK, you think of him. Does it excite you? I don't know.
Not really, no. All right, let's move on to my hometown, New Zealand. Starting off with Barb. Have either of you seen Survivor New Zealand?
Yes. Both.
Yes, but I can't remember her at all.
All right, so Barb, she was the strategic mastermind of season 1. She ran the game pretty much from the merge onwards. She was the only one who actually made a blindside happen in the first season. Who would have thought a blindside actually did happen? It's all because of Barb. She was described by the guy, I think his name was Salah, that she blindsided. He described her at the final tribal council as the turd that doesn't flush down the toilet because of how much he didn't like her. But yeah, she got 0 votes at the end, but I feel like she played a very good game. I think in New Zealand kind of nature, people often overlook the strategy. Thankfully, in traders, strategy is really starting to pick up. But yeah, I think Barb's a legend, and I'd love to see Barb 2.0. Another player I have is Shannon. Now, Shannon's an interesting one. I kind of feel like for me, I guess without seeing Survivor Quebec, she would kind of be like the Cassandra level of player in terms of she played an overall really good game. She flipped when she needed to. She stood her ground when she needed to, but it all kind of came up to it in the end when she got taken out at the final 6. But a lot of players hated her in the game, Michelle, because she flipped on the popular crew, on all like the sporting players, and as they left to go to Redemption Island, they all shouted, "Please vote Shannon out next," as they were getting voted out because they just hated Shannon so much. But yeah, I think Shannon would be a great player to have come back and play. Another player is Tom. For me personally, he is like the Colby to a lot of people, like Tom for me personally, well, I guess the Lee for Australians, right? Where Tom was the underdog. He won his way to the very end. He was receiving votes all throughout the pre-merge. Everyone wanted him gone, but he always stuck around. And it's because of linesman Ben Arvi, who I wish I put on this list, but Arvi would be a great player to have on, being the first New Zealand winner as well. But I think Tom, he started using individual amenities as a way to kind of threaten people to work with him, because it's like, well, you're never going to take me out, so you might as well stay and work with me. But yeah, he's the first runner-up, and I think he's overall a good player. And coming into season 2, we've got Tess, the runner-up. She was the underdog of the season. Not a lot of strategy with Tess, but I think that there's a lot to sort of explore with Tess, if that kind of makes sense. I think,
but if she doesn't have a lot of strategy, why have you got her?
I think she was a really great underdog. She was 1 vote away from winning her season. The season that Lisa ended up winning. And I think on a second run, after knowing the game a bit more, I think Tess would have a lot more to kind of offer on the second run, if that kind of makes sense. But yeah, just someone from New Zealand I think would have been great to have on. Another player is Adam, who was on the World Tribe before Lisa, from what I've heard. But then he got an injury, so he was tapped out. Adam, very funny, very entertaining. I love Adam so much. While I think he would have been great on the World Tribe, I'm personally more happy that we got to see Lisa come and play than Adam. But Adam is also a great pick. Would love to have him on. Another player is Matt. In my opinion, he was the player of season 2. So he came in, Michelle, with a close friend from high school. Right? So they know each other had applied. But Matt,
that was a bit controversial.
Very controversial. And it's always hard because Matt, he dominated the post-merge game right up until he got blindsided. But he was in the bottom during the swap phase, but his friend was in the majority then. So it's kind of like, would Matt have gotten voted out if his friend wasn't there? And same thing during the post-merge game. Would Dave have been voted out if Matt wasn't there, you know? But just to show how much of a good player Lisa is, she convinced Matt's closest friend from high school to blindside him with an idol in his pocket in the 3-2-1. Yeah, I'd love to see Matt come in.
I think Adam has more of a presence than Matt in that season. I don't know.
Yes.
I just feel it more.
Yeah, I think Adam definitely the bigger character, but I think Matt was like the bigger player in terms of he was like flipping everywhere, making moves and stuff. But I think Adam was more entertaining as a whole. We've also have Dylan, a lovely friend, Dylan, Michelle.
Dylan, I forgot about Dylan.
How could you forget about Dylan? He's great, you know. Yes, he was pre-merge on the season, but what a great.
We need three. We need like 3 tribes. This isn't working.
Yeah. We need a Tri-Nations survivor, you know, for each country.
We need Australia, US, and the rest.
Australia, US, and the rest. I think Dylan would be
nice
a
title.
player.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dylan did he have a nickname, Dylan? I think of Cockroach, his game style. Was it the Cockroach?
It might have been the cockroach or the snake or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think him and Lisa were probably the only super fans to actually play Survivor New Zealand period. You know, I can't remember anyone from the first season who was a huge fan of the show beforehand.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Dylan would be great. He would obviously understand, very similar to Lisa, he would understand what the season means to a lot of people. So I think it'd be a great pick to have on. And is that all? Yes, it is.
Whoa, you had my pick for US.
Before we move on, GP, do you think I've missed out on anyone for Survivor New Zealand?
I was wondering what you would say about Avi, since he was the first winner of your country. Why no Avi? I was into his personality and his kind of chilled out way and how he won. He's not a big as character as Lisa, but the only miss for me is one of the ones I had. What do you think?
Yeah, no, Avi was someone, as I was going through the list, I kind of realized, crap, I forgot to put him on. You know, because I do think Avi's a very good player, but here's that player where it's like the Sam Webb, I feel like he would go up to play, and if he's there with like Parvati and Suri, he's like, guys, why are you guys lying? You know, can you imagine Avi trying to deal with George? He might actually blow his brains out, you know? Like, I think Avi, while he would be cool to have on as a New Zealand representative, I don't know how he would do on the season compared to a lot of the other characters that I've mentioned. But
because the more we talk about this, I think of the Australia versus the world premiere and how everyone, this social mastermind, this strategic snake, like all of these people who had success before, and now we're laying out all these people who got blindsided a lot before. Who, like, I feel that this Australia versus the world needs to be about people who are the best of the best in a way. Like, my mind is changing on how to see all this. Like Dylan, I see right now, no, not best of the best. If you put just 7 people, no way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Shall we move on to the US? Apparently they're pretty huge franchise. I don't know, but the first player I have up is Natalie Anderson, who's coming in to play the Traders US, which comes out next year. Physical challenge beast, social player, very strategic player, like to swing big. Even though I'm happy that Tony won Winners at War, obviously there's a strong case for Natalie. I think her not doing the Chris Underwood and taking Tony out on fire literally cost her the game. So I would love to see Natalie on the third run. How about you, Michelle?
She is one of my 3 women, yes.
Oh, I'm excited to see who the other 2 are. How about you, GP? Any thoughts on Natalie?
She's always a yes. Like, she's the queen of unfinished stories. Things always happen super early for her in the game, then super late. Can we have a complete story that doesn't break at the end? Like, I'm all in for more Natalie. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next part I have, which is Carolyn.
Yes.
The new era. I would love to see Carolyn come and play.
Just skip that one, of course.
Yeah. I feel like we can guarantee Carolyn's like a lock at this point. But with Carolyn, obviously the biggest star of New Era. I've made literally a rage video where I want Jeff Probst to be sacked from the show because he did not cast Carolyn on season 50. She came on Traders. She killed it on the Traders, literally pun intended. And so, yeah, I'd love to see Carolyn come back a second time officially.
Yeah.
I actually did see after the rumored cast started coming up for 15, Carolyn wasn't on it. She literally posted on her story, does anyone know any Survivor AU or Deal or No Deal Island producers? Which I thought was pretty funny. She's like, yeah, I'm jumping
It's
ship
not
from
funny.
Jeff,
It's not funny. Who's not casting Carolyn on everything?
Yeah,
exactly.
She brought in new fans.
Yeah, I just find it funny because Karen's one of the biggest stars, but let's not cast her. I don't know what Jeff's thinking, but if you want to hear my thoughts on that, check out my video on why I think Jeff Probst needs to be sacked for Survivor to be good again. Literally made it earlier this year. It's a great video. Moving on to Kelly Wentworth.
3 for 3.
3 for 3. Oh, Michelle, we're in sync tonight. Kelly Wentworth, the underdog queen. When I was going through American Survivor, Cambodia was my first experience of Kelly Wentworth when I started watching American Survivor. And so when I saw she was on Sandra Del Sur, I was like, oh my gosh, because obviously I was watching everything kind of in reverse and skipping around. I thought Sandra Del Sur would have been some kind of epic game like Cambodia. And it's like, who even is she? She's not even there. She gets taken out pre-merge. I was like, wait, what made her get casted from season 29 to Cambodia? But I'm so grateful we've got to see her in Cambodia, one of the biggest underdogs the franchise has seen. Also, she gets sniped out with Idol No Pocket Winners at war, at Edge of Extinction. What's your thoughts on Kelly Wentworth, GP?
Of course. But she said, I will never play again. Don't ask me why. Do you know why? Is that all?
Maybe just US. She might play if it's Australia versus US.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought maybe she pissed off production. I don't know.
Well, she loved our season. Loved it so much that I think she would say yes if she was asked.
She is worldwide recognizable.
Yeah.
Exactly. Also, fun fact about Kelly Wentworth, though, from what I've heard, obviously it's not locked, but from what I've heard, she was on the World Tribe. But then when Parvati said she was keen to do it, they apparently swapped Wentworth and Parvati.
Oh.
So literally, what could have been? Imagine if Wentworth was on the season instead of Parvati, how that would have turned out, right? So, yeah, no, I think Wentworth would have been a great pick. Another player I have is Boston Rob. He's one of the last huge legends. We've had Sari, Parvati, Sandra, but not Rob. We need Rob to come in and give Australian Survivor a go. I actually remember seeing a video. This was years and years ago. I think All Stars Australia, so 2020, 2021, where Boston Rob posted a reel of him giving Luke and David and Jericho some flack. He's like, oh, I'd easily take you guys on. And I was like, oh my God, is this hinting at something? Not really.
It's been a while.
Only 5 years later, we had something. But yeah, I'd love to see Rob come back and play. I think he's one of the last, if you think of American Survivor, he's obviously one of those players. I think he's one of those last players. It's like a final hurrah for Boston Rob. What's your thoughts on him, GP?
Of course, Boston Rob. And I think he's shopping around with his agent or just himself, but he wants to be on every show like a bunch of them are doing. He did Traders. He might do Big Brother. Recently, he hinted at that. He even went on Big Brother US as a guest. So, Australian, yes. If he says yes, they get him on automatically. And he is amazing entertainment. Yes.
Yeah. Another player I have is actually Tyson, who did make out a few.
Oh,
God.
This is ridiculous.
Tyson, so nuts. So Tyson actually did make a post saying that he was actually on, because the original season was Australia versus America, but then a lot of things changed at the last minute. Will change as in Jeff Probst got salty, but yeah, I think Tyson would be a great one for Australian Survivor. How about you guys?
Yeah, it was on my list.
Yes, and we need more nakedness on Australian, so he will get naked the first day. Yeah. There we go.
Exactly. And moving on. Oh, we're about to move on to a new country and territory.
Hang on.
Who's some other Americans?
Male Americans? You literally had two.
I did only have two. Well, name some male Americans.
I'd love to see Fair Play on again.
Oh,
To
I would too.
spice
Yeah,
it up.
no. Yes and no. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I kind of feel like Fair Play is like I'm okay with Fair Play. I mean, obviously there was a lot that happened just before Micronesia, which led him to being the first boot. Like I think he had like a jaw injury or something like that from a wrestling thing he just did before going out.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like it's like it's kind of like bringing Rupert to come back and play again. You get what I mean? I kind of feel like
No, not really. I mean, I love Rupert. Love Rupert, but
yeah,
I think Fair Play would have more of a strategy than Rupert. But more of a strategy that would go well. But I also had Aussie just for putting in a challenge beast.
Okay.
And, he's a big name. You want some big names in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about GP? In the other American names I'm missing out on?
Those winners who never came back. Earl from Fiji. If you say winner next to the person, people are already interested, especially if they never came back. Mike Holloway as well. And Marianne.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
Marianne, yeah.
Marianne.
So I said Earl, Mike, and Marianne, and Tommy, even Chris Underwood. Because all of these are winners who never came back. Can they do it again? Especially Earl, unanimously. I was the first unanimous winner of Survivor. What a great tagline. I think of the tagline, like, you have 10 seconds to say somebody. Does it impress the audience, right? Let's think marketing here.
Yeah, true. I think Earl would be a good one.
Okay, well, I think you need to work for Channel 10 and just say, well, we can only have people who get a good tagline.
Exactly.
Get the word out there. I'm ready.
All right, now I've got some players. This is going to be uncharted territories for you, Michelle. GP, did you watch Tommy's season of Survivor Finland in the end?
No, I need to get to that.
You didn't? All right. I'm going to go through some names. So these are players from Tommy's season that I think would personally be very good to have on the show. And the first one is Helmary. So I always get his name wrong. I don't know why. Yeah, even on Shannon's podcast, I always keep getting his name wrong. But Michelle, I want you to imagine. So Tommy was like the Wendell. This guy was like the Dominic. So he was like the more strategic force on the season. He had idols, he had advantages, he was winning a lot of immunity challenges as well. He actually played before. It was the fans versus favorite season. He made it pretty far the first time he played as well. So he came back as like a favorite. He linked up with Tommy and a few other of like the fans, such as like Sammy as well and Julia. And they kind of just went really far into the game up until the final five where, like, bear in mind, this is the final five that him and Tommy just dominated from like the swap all the way up until here. And that's when he gets blindsided. And so I kind of feel like with Tommy as like the more social player, he was pretty strategic as well, but I feel like Tommy was more of like the social game, whereas this guy was the more strategic and the physical game. Not saying that Tommy was the slowest in challenges, but yeah, I think this guy, if you had to do like a pairs season, like an All-Stars Blood vs. Water, I feel like him and Tommy would be like the ones to watch on that season. So that's him. Another one is...
Sorry, a fan coming back as a favorite is super rare. Like Eric Reichenbach and Toki. Like, this is very small.
Yeah. Exactly. Another one is Julia. Now, something about Julia is that she's kind of the same archetype as Tess, almost, right? Where it's like, do we really need it on the season? Not really, but I think for the casting pool of Finland, she would be great to have on there. Towards the end, she was a huge underdog. How she gets taken out of the game is that at the final three, Michelle, is very different to all other survivors, where there isn't a vote. It's just a challenge. And if you come last place, you're the final member of the jury, and she came last place. Yeah. And to help the other guy win over Tommy, Sammy gave Julia the extra jury vote because there was an even number of jury for a final two, and she pretty much made Sammy win over Tommy. So,
well, Mucky, I am Survivor Twist what did you think of that twist? Is it a good twist to watch? It seems so out of
Look,
line.
I think it's interesting, right? But I think the core fundamental part of Survivor is voting people out, and so I think while it is a cool idea, you're going, if you come last place, you're out, But I think especially for like the final one, like how many times, like Wu taking Tony over Cass, for example, is the biggest what, you get me? Like Christy winning that final challenge. It was an obstacle course between Christy, Lee, and Al. Christy probably loses that, and we don't see the underdog victory. You get what I mean? And so I think, even then, imagine if Christy lost, but she still convinces Lee to vote out Al. Like, then that's a similar thing with Tony, Wu, and Cass, right? And so, yeah, I personally think just stick to the vote, right? But yeah, Julia is a really good player to have on, and there's other. She is a legend and on her own. So Michelle, I've told you about her. So with Verpy, right? The first time she played, she quit at the final four at Tribal Council and ended up on the jury. And then she comes back as a favorite, by the way, on Fans versus Favorite. She comes back as a favorite. It's at the final four. The vote is tied between Julia and Sammy, right? She's not even in the tie. She doesn't have immunity. Tommy has immunity. So she's not in the tie, not at risk of being eliminated, and she still chooses to quit the game.
You are not bringing back
I think it would be legendary.
Two-time quitter.
I know, but that's what's so great about it. She quit twice at the final four.
No.
At the final four. She made
why.
She made it all the way to final four, just be like, yo, I'm out. And then leaves.
She quit for other people to get further, or she's sick of it?
No, she just quit.
Why? Tell me why. I don't get it.
If I remember for a second time, I think it's because she felt like Julia and Sammy kind of deserved to be there more so than her. But yeah, she literally just quit at the final four twice.
Is she a celebrity?
Maybe, I don't know. She might be kind of popular, but
because they tend to do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You don't deserve to play again. If you quit once, let alone twice, you don't deserve to play again. I never want to see her play anything in Australia. I cannot believe you put her name forward. She's a quitter in any reality game. Does not deserve to play again. Get her off my screen.
But she quit twice. She quit twice though at the same spot.
Yeah, exactly. She quit twice though. Get her off my screen.
At the same spot. All right. Next one we do have is Tanya. From Survivor France. Survivor.
Is she the one who poisoned everybody?
Yes.
I will have her on.
So for context, from what I haven't seen her game, so I cannot say everything that she was doing, but from what I understand, she was on the bottom, quite often, especially during the post-merge game, and it was at the final five. And she was pretty much guaranteed to get voted out at the final five. But then she accidentally food poisons not just herself, but the entire cast remaining on the tribe, causing everyone to get medically evacuated out of the game to come back several days later, which I might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure she won immunity or played an idol at the final five to then make an extra step in. So if it wasn't for her food poisoning everyone, she would not have made it further into the game. And I think that's just an iconic Queen move. Like, I don't care if she hasn't even learned English. Put her on the season.
Accidentally? This is proven? Accidentally poison people?
Who knows? Intentionally? I don't know. See, that's a new way Suri hasn't been taken out of the game yet. Food poison. Can you imagine that straight versus the world too? It's Tanya and Suri. She just food poisons Suri out of the game. God. That'd be a great one. Another player to have is Turabi or Turbo. He's from Survivor Turkey. Get this, Michelle. He's won twice. The first two times.
And he looks like a force to be reckoned with.
Not only did he win twice in Survivor Turkey, but he played in the challenge, the first ever global championship of the challenge, which he won. He won that too.
You have him on Yeah.
Never mind. Challenge based, strategic based. He came back a third time and was taken out because of he was medically evacuated from the game. And on the fourth run, it said he got disqualified, which I don't know if that meant like he was kicked off the game or was voted out. I don't know, but I couldn't find a lot of information about his fourth season. But yeah, when there was news about Australia versus the World, I know his name came up quite a bit of maybe Turbo from Survivor Turkey. So yeah, he could be a good one to bring back, I reckon, especially on the World Tribe. And next up we have Ghislaine, which I'll take over to you, GP, because you recommended this guy. We talked about him a wee bit on the Cassandra podcast. Tell us who's Ghislaine and why would he be good on a season like this?
Ghislaine was that winner against Cass, so maybe they can link up that story with Cass a little bit. People watch the first season. A unanimous winner on top of that. Out 10 votes, if my memory serves me right. When you watch his winners montage, this is a guy who jumps above everybody, who's stronger than everyone, who was so strategic yet sneaky, interesting. Dad of 3, I think. It's everything you want in a contestant, once again. If people can pronounce his name Ghislain, that's already a win, actually. But this is like, if you think Survivor Quebec, there's only been 3 seasons and people think of him right away. And he encouraged people to sign up for season 4 of Quebec, and you have no idea what he did to prepare for his season. Like cold showers for a year, sleeping in the snow, dreaming in the woods of, meditation in the woods, I mean. So he's over the top Survivor, so that's why he would be good.
Yeah. And because I know the lot of comparisons we made to his game was that him and Cass were almost like Rob and Nicole from Island of Secrets, eh?
It's a perfect comparison, yes. And he was, okay, you see the moments where he takes moves away from Cass. Like, he makes her look lesser strategic than him. And it's in these key moments when you take the time to watch that long season. She told me in a private conversation, he always knows what he's doing, right? He could be on Big Brother, she said. So, does she still hold something against all that happened? I don't know, but he knows what to work. And it's his charm and his mind and the physical. It's almost a 10 out of 10 across the board. It's crazy, that guy.
Yeah. And next up we have Nicholas, who won the first season of Survivor Quebec. Once again, GP, take it away. Who even is Nicholas?
Nicolas is our first ever winner, and he's our Chris Underwood winner in the first season. He was voted out and then came back and won, which is totally, I believe, a world first on the first season that happened. I don't know, but very likable, and he played the dummy on the first season. Like, he was constantly giving us confessionals like, I'm just the happy-go-lucky guy, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but people believe it seems like. People think I'm just bouncing around, not knowing what I'm doing. It's not Fabio, not that far. Like, he's obviously smart, but very charming. And he does Survivor Chalet, which is his own fan-made seasons out in the woods with past contestants and fans. And if I lived over there, I would try it out. But he comes up with twists and turns and the whole season concept. Look, he's mega fan, anyone. So, and LGBT, nice diversity for all winners.
Yeah. And bringing it home for Survivor Quebec, we have the other winner. I realized I did 2-1-3. I could have just done 1-2-3. I don't know. My math is terrible. But take away, GP.
Geneviève is our little Genevieve, but from Quebec. The third winner, and she just won recently. She's the archetype gamer girl. I've never seen a winner like her in the world. She'll throw out these Zelda references in her confessionals and talk about Smash Brothers there, but also so likable, so sweet, and she had to beat like very good players to earn her win. Like, no one was really seeing her as a winner, myself included, and it came out of nowhere. And in the end, you're like, oh my God, we love her. Look at all she did. She beat that guy there. She did that. And it all lines up like dominoes for a winner for Genevieve. And the first woman winner was important as well after these 2 boys. I don't know, right? It still matters for some reason, but she was just, again, like, we have 3 very strong winners. They should all come back. If I had to pick one, it would be Ghislain, though, for the crazy story with Cass. It links up. My heart winner though is her, Genevieve. Very, very cool woman.
Yeah. And bringing it home for the internationals, we do have, I'm going to butcher the names, but Barbel Stoltz. Is that right?
Berbel, yeah.
Barbel Stoltz. So she's someone that Richard actually strongly recommended me from Survivor Germany. From what I've been told, is that she's almost like the Lisa of the season, very strategic. But also good at keeping a group together. We saw especially with the World Tribe, it was like Lisa, Tommy, and Cass, where Lisa kind of seemed like the leader of that group. And she also had a connection with Suri as well. And from what I know of her, while she was pre-merge, which is I guess a knock against her for potentially being on the 7-person cast, apparently she was like a glue of her alliance. It was so hard to take her out of the game. And she was kind of like the leader of her alliance as well. So that's kind of Barbel. And someone, GP, you recommended him, Stefan. You've seen a wee bit of his game. Tell us a little bit about of what you know.
These two for Survivor Germany are the only two I could think of. Berbel is very involved in translating her original season, and it still matters a lot to her that she was on Survivor. Too low of a placement, though, compared to Stefan, who was second place. I checked out his Instagram again today, and I wonder if he's still involved and if he would do it. But that was the kind of amazing super fan who was like, I can't believe I'm on Survivor Germany. He says, I've watched 800 episodes of Survivor in his intro.
Wow.
So that means, what does that mean, right? He watched all of US, all of Australia, like probably like us a little bit. He does Survivor parties. Look, what else do you want? If you want one German, should be him, or who beat him. But I like him better.
Yeah. Well, Michelle, that's actually the end of the PowerPoint presentation. We made it through.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
Amazing.
Amazing. I can tell you're so out of it. Like, oh my God, we've gone through 31.
No, look, I was hoping you'd put the Poison Girl on.
Yeah.
And, I didn't actually know anyone else, but, after hearing their stories of how they played and what they did, and definitely the one that Cass came second to, I can't remember his name, but definitely him, because even I think his sister and mum were on the last season of Canada's Amazing Race, which, GP, I haven't seen the finale yet. Don't tell me.
His brother and mom.
Brother and mom.
Louis
yeah.
and Marie.
So obviously, there's some sort of charisma in that family that get them cast on things. So I think he'd be good for the World Tribe.
Well, it's funny you say that, Michelle, because we did it for the Australians where we narrowed it down to 7. We're going to have to do the same thing with all these people. And to make it fair, this is Australia versus the world.
Right.
And a complaint that V had brought up was they say world, but there's half the tribes Americans, right? So to keep it fair, we're going to do one player from each of the different franchises we've talked about. There's still a little bit more.
So 7 countries.
7 countries. I believe we've got Germany, Quebec, Turkey, France, Finland, America,
US,
New Zealand, UK, and stuff. So we've got 9. So we're gonna have to cut off two countries. But we're going to start off right from South Africa. So the players we have. So once again, yay and nay. All right.
Well, no, let's just pick one. I think we're all just going to say Chappies.
Chappies?
I agree.
Right. Dino Police. So are we all going with Chappies?
Yeah.
All right. So if I go delete, it's not going to work. All right. So we're going Chappies for South Africa. Let's go for UK. We've got Chris, Doug, Tanuka, Pigleg, and Matt.
Let's go, Christopher.
Yeah.
I became for Chris too. All right, so we've got Chappies and Chris. Oh my gosh, I dropped my mouse. 2 phenomenal male picks so far. So same thing as the Australian tribe, 4 guys, 3 girls, since it was the other way around for the first season. So we've got 2 guys locked in. Survivor New Zealand. So we've got Barb, Shannon.
Hang on,
Tom.
let's just go to France and Quebec first, because we have to see what sex they are before we put in our American. So
Okay,
I think
so France. So she's female.
we need her in.
There's two omissions from Survivor France Colanta, okay?
Who's
I
the
had
other
in
one?
my is this too long? Because I had Claude, who is a guy who came in second twice, then third, and then he won, but his title was revoked. Have you heard about this?
Oh no.
No.
Oh, good. Let me tell you. There was some cheating around with him and the other finalists that they would find food around that they're not allowed to find. Production food or village food, I don't know, but at the finale, the host announced that the title was revoked and they gave all the money to charity instead. And the honor of a past
Whoa.
contestant.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy drama. Basically cancels the season, but he's played 4 times and in the final 4 times.
You see, I would love him on, but production's not going to put him on because of
I
that
know.
last thing that happened.
Exactly, right?
And
Sadly.
who would you rather? Someone who makes it to the end 4 times, or someone who literally food poisons your opposition? You know, like which is more iconic? You know.
Allons-y avec Tanya. Allons-y, Tanya. Yes.
Yeah. So Tanya's a lot. All right. So we've got
Yeah.
Chris, Chappies, and Tanya. Are we going to chuck Turbo on?
Yes.
He's
All right, so
played
that's
over 450 days. How about a little more?
Sure.
Get to 500.
That is crazy. Actually,
It is.
450 days. Wait,
Yeah.
I'm on the wrong tab. For Quebec, Ghislaine.
Uh-huh. Why not?
I think you have to pick.
Well, if we have too many males, it's Geneviève. Otherwise, he should be on. He's a lock. He did an interview for Zoom for the season. Okay, he was considered. How is his English storytelling? Cass thinks that they liked her storytelling a lot. You know how Cass is, right? So expressive. Can he do the same in English? That's my only question. Performance-wise, yes, 100% for me.
I mean,
That would
I have
be-
a strong feeling, even with the Finland players, that they probably don't speak English. You know, but we're just going to talk about like the games, who the players are, and stuff. You know, it's like a fan casting, right? So,
But it does matter. But yeah, I get you.
yeah. So who would you pick, GP, from the Quebec side of things? Ghislaine, Nicolas, Genevieve. Who would you pick?
Him,
Him?
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine. All
Yeah.
right. And how about from Germany, between Barbel and Stefan? If you had to pick one player.
Stefan. Better
Stefan?
story. Lost in the finals. Second place.
But how many males have we got? Are you
Right,
taking track?
Well, I am, because we're going to have to circle back from one per country. We're going to have to circle
Right.
back to then narrow it
Get
down.
rid of
So
two.
we've got Ghislaine, Chappies, Chris, Turbo, Stefan. I love how I'm just spamming Richard with all this as well. I'm sitting of all these random names. Stefan, we've got Tanya. Is that who we've got so far? 5 guys and 1 chick?
I think so.
I think so. All right, well, let's go back to Survivor Finland. So we've got Verpi, the legendary 2-time quitter at the Final Four. We got Julia, and we got Elmiri.
Well, if the fans are going to react like Michelle to Verpier, we should have her on. Obviously. That's the biggest reaction of the podcast. I'm pissed, Mike.
Yeah. With me
You
personally,
tell us, Mucky, since you've seen them.
I low-key would like to see Julia come back and play again. I think there's like an underdog story with her. There's a drive in her. I think she'll do very good at all the different endurance challenges as well. Well, I think strategically she's not up there, maybe with some like with a Hail Mary, for example. But I think in terms of a character, in terms of a story as well, we all love a good underdog story. I think she can personally bring it. So I personally would chuck in Julia. So I write that down. So I got Stefan, Julia, Tanya. All right, let's head on over to America. So we've got Kelly Wentworth.
It's got to be
Carolyn,
women then. We don't have a choice.
Natalie,
It's one woman.
Rob or Tyson. It's got to be a woman, you reckon?
Wentworth. It's going to have to be Wentworth.
How about you, JP?
So great. Carolyn or Wentworth. I'm more excited about Carolyn. And it would be interesting to have Sandra Diaz-Twine come back, maybe. I'll just say it. But
I was thinking of putting Sandra, but part of my criteria for the list was no player who's done Australian Survivor before, so that kind of excluded Sandra and Russell as well. But I think otherwise Sandra would have been a lock for sure.
I pick Carolyn. Too fun.
Looking at us like, what?
Yeah. It's weird because, like, for me personally, I would have chosen between Natalie, Carolyn, or Rob. Because obviously, you're still going to have to trickle down.
You can't have any more boys, just women. Don't talk about Rob.
Just women. No, Rob. Oh gosh. All right. Well, it's between for me. It's between. Even though I love Wentworth, I would so love to have her come back. I think Natalie or Carolyn, I think would bring a lot more to a season. I think Natalie. Like, obviously, Natalie, huge physical challenge beast. You go. I mean, she's going to like really bring it to the Aussies. Strategically as well, she's pretty good. She also like swings. She swings for the fences. You know what I mean, right from the get go, and she's very crafty about it too. But maybe Carolyn.
You can't help yourself.
Yeah, I do love Carolyn. I think especially after a Traders run as well. Like for me, I was just like, oh, she's just a good character. But Traders made me realize how good of a player she really is.
I agree 100%.
We
all said in our living room she'll be a horrible trader, and then she was the best trader. That's the story.
Look, I've got her as one of my 3, so that's fine. I don't mind.
Don't mind. All right, we'll put in cheeky old Carolyn. All right. Now let's head on over to New Zealand. So we've got Dylan, Matt, Adam, Tess, Tom, Shannon, or Barb.
I actually remember Barb. You made me remind myself how a Shane Gould she kind of is for New Zealand. I wish it ended differently, but I did like her. If I had to pick one woman, maybe Lisa again.
He just always keep bringing. See, that's why we cast the same people. So Shannon, she so I'd say if she was to play like a new era game, people call this like super basic. But for like New Zealand, she flipped when she needed to flip. She read where the alliances were. On the original try before the swap as well, she was forming a connection with Nate and Barb, who were on the bottom, whereas no one else really were. So then when it came to swap and emerge, she had those inroads and connections to actually work with them. Whereas a player like Georgia, who was in the same alliance with like Shannon and some of the other like younger people, she didn't form a connection. So when swap happened, they took out Georgia straight away.
I think we need a girl. We need a woman. So
there is still like Tess, but I kind of feel like Tess is too similar to Julia. So I'll probably go for a Shannon or a Barb personally.
Will you pick? Or GP pick?
It's so hard. Like, I would almost cut my male Quebec winner to put my female Quebec winner. Like, in my heart, I love her more. If we need another woman. Because I don't know from New Zealand. I trust Mucky much more.
Yeah, I reckon
New Zealand to me was Lisa. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to replace Ghislaine with Genevieve, you can if you want. There's also a fan casting. There are no producers here, you know? So if that's where your heart's telling you, then yeah, we can swap Ghislaine with Genevieve if you want.
I'm taking it super seriously. We can if we need to. How about that?
All right, I'll put Genevieve down as a maybe. All right, but we still got to pick someone for New Zealand though. It's the last country on the list. I'd be keen to see like Adam or Dylan for the men because I reckon that'd be super funny.
Same. I'd rather have Adam or Dylan than one of the women.
One woman.
Adam fits the vibe like crazy of Australian Survivor. Loud and proud, and
Yeah.
I remember him. Who
I-
would remember that face?
Actually, I still remember. Actually, this came to mind recently. Where they're doing the challenge where you got to like put the sticks up. You got to keep doing it like that. You're balancing a ball and stuff. And he was complaining he couldn't see because he got too much of like the Botox. He couldn't look up to see. Yeah. Well, should just chuck Adam on because it's 4 guys, 3 girls, and then we can sort of battle it out between the men and the female for who deserves a spot.
Uh-huh.
Does it sound good?
Yes.
All right. So, just to confirm with everyone, with who we have potentially for the World Tribe, we have Ghislaine, Chappies, Chris, Turbo, and Stefan for the men, and Adam for the men, and we have Tanya, Julia, Carolyn, and Genevieve for the females. So, also we're going to have to cut. We're going to have to cut potentially 2 chicks, so we're including Genevieve, and we're going to have to cut 1 man for the men.
Okay, get Genevieve
Michelle.
on. Get Genevieve
I
on.
can hear you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you go.
Yeah.
I looked away and then I came back. I was like, oh my gosh, she's disappeared. She's gone.
We've talked for so long. My computer can't cope. I need power.
Oh my gosh.
Mucky, you should put Genevieve. She would be thrilled to do that season. I know that.
All right, so I'll take her just laying for Genevieve then. I'll put her on. All right. Michelle, you locked and loaded and ready to go? So we've just swapped Ghislaine for Genevieve for Quebec. So now we have Chappies, Chris, Turbo, Stefan, and Adam for the men. So we've got to drop 1 guy. And we have Tanya, Julia, Carolyn, and Genevieve for the female. So we've got to drop 1 female.
Name the 5 guys again.
Chappies, South Africa. Chris, UK. Turbo, Turkey. Stefan, Germany. And Adam, New Zealand.
Drop Chris and Stefan.
With me, I was leaning a bit towards dropping Stefan.
Survivor Germany is coming back, but it's been a long time now. Yeah, I would too. Cut Stefan.
Cut Stefan? All right, we're dropping Stefan. So we have it locked for the men with Chappies, Chris, Turbo, and Adam. Great group of men.
Cool.
But now we have to drop 1 chick. Tanya, Julia, Carolyn, and Genevieve.
But you forgot our Santoni. Didn't you like her, Mikey?
Oh yeah, no, I did like Santoni, but if we're picking 1 player to represent South Africa, I think Chappies is probably the one to go between him and Santoni. I think Chappies is better.
1 for each country. Okay,
yeah. Between the girls, I mean, JP, can you tell me a little bit more about Genevieve, her as a player?
Yes. Let's just say her big story was she called herself the slut of all tribes because she visited all tribes during her journey. First on one tribe, then she swapped onto another. Then a contestant in a twist created another tribe, so she was on that. Then she merged, and she was always positioned so well. Like Genevieve will take care of her later. Super likable. She brought her mom on, and her mom was even more of a super fan. Had the family reward. All she needed to do was cut William, the guy who was a cop but didn't tell anyone until everyone found out anyway. So she cut him in a mega blindside at Final 6 is what got her the win, Genevieve. Like to cut her ally when no one thought she would was her big story. That's what I can think of.
Well, with me, with how it sounds, is that we've got Carolyn, who's one of the biggest personalities of New Era. We've got Tanya, who food poisons everyone. We've got Genevieve, who seems like it's a great all-round player. Whereas with Julia, she's more of an underdog challenge kind of player with a good story. So I'd probably lean to cut Julia then, even though it breaks my heart because I think Julia's great. But I think just between the four of them, who's going to bring it a bit more? I think Genevieve will. I think
What
Tanya.
did Genevieve look like?
Let's scroll through. There you go. That's Genevieve.
Oh, yes. You called her something different, though, GP.
Gamer girl by excellence. What do you want? What do you?
Yeah, gamer girl, something like that. That was good. Yeah.
She streams. She called Survivor a giant Mario Party game. Like she constantly does that. Very casual girl. Very smart.
I'd probably drop Julia for Genevieve. How about you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now we're dropping Julia from Survive Finland. So the two tribes, everyone. I'm going to send it to Richard so that he knows as well. Is representing Australia. We have Benji, Ferris, Kaylin, and Nick, with Sean, Christy, and Pia. That's Team Australia. And then for Team World, we have Chappies, Chris, Turbo, Adam, Tanya, Carolyn, and Genevieve. From what we know, who do you guys reckon would take it up between these two tribes?
Wow.
Shit. It's extremely exciting, some of those names together. It's such icons of their countries.
Yeah.
I think the World Tribe would probably win again. Just with the names we have on the World Tribe. I think with the Chappies, strong, physical, great. Turbo, he's won 3 times overall. Obviously, a huge challenge competitor. Like Tanya would just food poison the entire cast and wins by default. Like Carolyn's great. Like Adam's funny. Like by the sounds of Genevieve, she sounds good. Chris is obviously great. Like obviously, while these great Australian players like Ferris, like Sean, Christy, Pia, Nick, I don't see like any of them actually like coming close to the world. I felt the world's got so much more going for them.
I think Nick would do well.
Yeah, I think it would do really well.
But would it be a season about patriotism? Australians seem to be with Australians in alliances. The vote at the final didn't go that way. Only Sarah voted for Luke. But it still had a huge Australia versus the world vibe, like the title, right? So would the second season be that again? Hope not, because it's more boring. But okay, I don't know why, but Chris from UK speaks to me as a winner. It goes. I see him. I don't know why.
Yeah, it would be a great one. I mean, I'd just love to see Tanya win by default. Like after episode 1, the entire cast has been food poisoned except for Tanya. Everyone's been medically evacuated. Tanya wins by default. Australia versus the world too. Yeah, I think that'd be great. Default win. But yeah, thank you both so much. Actually, you Survivor to us, GP. You've been an absolute legend. Tell us, where can people find you?
At my handle there. I'm also on TikTok, which is kind of different results and interactions there. You can follow me there, and a little bit on YouTube, but having a lot of fun. My goal is to work on Survivor, or at least in entertainment. So that's just a portfolio building by a mega superfan. So it's all coming together.
Now, I'll try and link as much as I can in the description of the video when we post it, bro. But make sure you like, follow, subscribe to Survivor to us. Michelle, what's coming up for you? Anything exciting?
I've got Amazing Race podcast still going. The Australian season. I'm not doing the US. And obviously Hunted UK podcast coming up as well too. And I've got the groups. I've got the chat threads going. So when US Survivor's on, there's a chat thread in the Survivor group. When Amazing Race Australia's on, there's a chat thread in that group as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm here at Mucky Productions. We've got it all. Drew, Jake, and V are now covering the new season 49 of American Survivor. And V, Michelle, and Leonie. I haven't been on the last couple of weeks, but we'll be there for the next recap as we cover the Amazing Race Australia Celebrity Edition. Traders New Zealand is coming back. Australian Survivor Redemption will be out before you know it. Pre-season, season 50 is going to start any second as well. You can like, comment, subscribe for all the amazing content here at Mucky Productions. Make sure you subscribe for some cheeky, naughty times. Not gonna lie, I've not really done anything cheeky or naughty. My bank account's been pretty empty since coming back, so I've just had to sit on my ass at home and work.
Yeah, you did naughty things to your bank account. It's just gone.
Yeah. Oh, how naughty of me to go to Australia for a month and Canada for 10 days.
I know.
How about you, Survivor Twist? Have you been up to anything cheeky or naughty?
No, I need to get to naughty times. I'm going to France in a month, though. Somehow it's an hour away, and I've never been, so my roots, I guess. We'll see what happens.
Nice.
Not Paris, Strasbourg. So
I've got a family friend, and she sails around the world. She's like retired, right? And she told me the other day that the distance between Greece and Turkey is the same from Auckland to Waiheke Island, which is literally just off the shore of our Auckland coast, which is a half an hour ride, on the ferry. It's like, really, Greece and Turkey is only half an hour away.
Yeah, they're very close.
It's crazy. I don't know. I just looked at the world map. I was like, Greece there, Turkey there. Oh, yeah. But it's like, wait, but that's half an hour away from each other.
Europe is smart for that. Stuff. Best part.
Yeah. No, but make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to Mucky Hope Productions. I've been your host, Mucky Hope. Kakita, I know everyone. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, guys. Bye.